Hello beautiful humans, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about how to work through jealousy, especially within a relationship. And I'm going to be taking you through 10 powerful steps to free yourself from jealousy. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to happen overnight, but if you keep following these steps, you will gradually be lightening the load that jealousy has over you. Now, if you're new here, I'm Monica, a dating and relationship coach, author and lover of all things love. Here we talk about feminine energy, self-love, dating and relationships. So if you enjoy this video, click like and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of my weekly videos. Now, before I dive into freeing yourself from jealousy, I just first want to address that jealousy is a very human emotion for anybody to feel, and we don't need to demonize it. And we also shouldn't demonize ourselves for feeling it. The problem isn't with the feeling of jealousy itself, but rather with the power that we allow for it to have over our reactions and our actions. Jealousy can be a sacred messenger, but instead of befriending it, we often use it to either blame our partner with comments like, I saw you looking at her, or to shut down, or to internally judge ourselves for the way that we feel. But from an evolutionary standpoint, jealousy is our ego's way of protecting our existence. From the caveman ages, women needed to keep the men in their life as protection from physical harm for themselves and for their child, actually. And these ancestral imprints are likely stored in our DNA, connecting us to this same fear of abandonment, which provokes the survival mechanism of jealousy. There's also the argument that, a healthy level of jealousy in a relationship can actually benefit relationships, igniting things like eroticism, attraction, passion, and pleasure between a couple. However, when we allow it to overpower us, that's when we can fall victim to its toxicity. Jealousy comes down to either a lack of self-esteem, comparison, not feeling enough, or all of the above. So today I'm going to be giving you these 10 steps to free yourself of these limiting beliefs and free yourself from jealousy. Step number 1 is to self-regulate. Jealousy is often a visceral response, and it can feel like someone has hijacked our emotions and our thoughts, and our whole world feels like it's unraveling. So that's why it's so hard at the time to control. We feel this urgent need come up to find the solution in the moment. We feel like unless we get things under control right here, right now, then our partner will betray us or abandon us, which is what our ego wants us to think, so it can be more in control of the outcome. Our ego has evolved to exaggerate every threat from our own survival, and jealousy can cause us to feel like our survival is actually being threatened in that moment, because back in the day, that is actually what abandonment could mean. So we respond to our primitive instincts, and the powerful alarm of our ego's threat detector kind of starts to hammer away at our head and our heart. So what you need to do is you need to step away from the situation and allow yourself the space and time to self-regulate your emotions before reconnecting with your partner. At this moment, you're already regaining your power. You may not be able to control the emotion in the moment, but you have already shown to yourself that you can control how you react. By incorporating mindful breathing into our belly and our heart center during this time of self-regulation, we're uniting our mind, our body, and our heart and our soul, and arriving back in the present moment. So by simply slowing down the pace of our breath and drawing awareness to the rhythms of our breath with acceptance, that brings a surprising amount of calm and healing to us, actually. I have a guided self-regulation meditation, which I'll link at the end of this video if you'd like to try that out. And number 2 is acknowledge the emotion. So much of the time we want to suppress the emotions, and especially something like jealousy, which we don't want to feel. And the problem is, though, that when we try to bottle up emotions, eventually they will explode out, and they'll have a much stronger power over us than before. So this is why it's important that when the jealous emotion arises, just sit with it alone and allow yourself to feel the emotion. Then look at where the emotion is coming from. So you can take yourself through the following self-inquiry process. So first, take time to sit with yourself in a safe space, undisturbed, and just connecting into your body through awareness of your breath. Then once you feel attuned to your body, ask yourself the following questions. What is the emotion that I'm feeling? Can I name it? Where do I feel this emotion stored in my body? Does it have a color? Does it have a texture, an image? And if I can inquire deeper, could there be a deeper layer to that emotional pain body? if I hold this feeling with compassion and love, can I get in touch with what the root cause of this is? Where did this originally stem from? What is the fear I hold about this? What am I afraid is going to happen? What is the limiting belief I have about myself that is triggered inside of me? So I recommend just taking some time to meditate and journal on these type of questions. This sort of inquiry takes us to a more vulnerable and authentic place rather than a defensive place, which is just puts a barrier up to our true emotions and therefore actually our true needs. Now, step number 3 is to rationally face the jealousy head on. So once you feel in a calmer state emotionally, you can begin to face the jealousy head on from a rational perspective. Reminding yourself in that moment that I am not my emotions and that these emotions are not real. Step number 4 is to mentally face the worst case scenario. So often the worst case scenario of jealousy for most would be abandonment or infidelity. When we allow these fearful thoughts to enter into the relationship, we're simply projecting our insecurities onto our partner. So for example, if you are subconsciously, energetically projecting onto your partner that you don't think that he's trustworthy, then you're actually encouraging him to reflect that back to you into your reality. The truth is, everyone has the capability to cheat and everyone has the ability to leave. So it's about recognizing the fear and facing it head on, because you will actually never be able to 100% guarantee that your partner would never cheat on you or never abandon you. You can also remind yourself in these moments that you can trust yourself enough to know that no matter what happens in your relationship, that you would be truly okay. And not because you can control the other person, but simply because you know that you can hold yourself and your emotions, and you can be the safe emotional anchor for yourself no matter what happens in the relationship. And if you don't feel this way yet, then this is something that you can work on. Now, step number 5 is to find the true cure. So the true cure of jealousy doesn't come from the other person. It comes from finding ways to raise your own self-esteem, your own self-love. So for me, when I spend time with my friends, when I get dressed up, when I go out and connect with new people, when I'm working on my passions and my purpose, all of this fills me up in a way that raises my self-esteem and my confidence. So find what does that for you. And number 6 is to rewire jealousy into inspiration. So instead of allowing the jealousy to create resentment and judgment towards other people or towards yourself, you can rewire the jealousy by looking at how this situation provides inspiration for you. So for example, if you feel jealousy towards another woman for her beautiful hair, in what way can you create a healthier hair care routine for yourself to build confidence in that area of your life? If you feel jealous of the attention your partner gave to someone else, how can you shower yourself in more love and attention? Now, number 7 is to avoid situations that will trigger the jealousy. So in the same way that when you first stop drinking alcohol, you should avoid environments like cocktail bars and things like that will trigger and spiral you back into your addictive behaviors. With jealousy, you should stop putting yourself in situations that will trigger the jealousy more. Number 8 is to communicate and set boundaries with your partner. Once you've self-regulated and been through the process of inner inquiry, you can then assess if this is something that you can solve by yourself or if it would actually help you to do the final stage of processing the emotion with your partner. There are some times when simply expressing how you feel to the other person is enough, and there are other times when boundaries would need to be set or a new agreement needs to be made. A vital element of this is that because you've already done the self-attunement part and you've already gotten clear yourself on what your core needs are, you can then express these to your partner from an effective place of composure and love. If you feel expressing jealousy would be to your highest good, then you have to follow that intuition. If you try to suppress it, the feeling will just seep out in other toxic ways through things like judgment or contempt within your relationship. So don't hide the emotion behind a facade or something which it's not. Vulnerably express the truth of the matter that you're feeling jealous and why that is. That vulnerability will actually lead to better results, as it will either create deeper intimacy between the two of you or establish healthier boundaries. Either way, having the courage to be vulnerable rather than aggressive will be so much more powerful and effective. Setting boundaries with your partner is just expressing to him how certain words or actions feel for you and how he can best make you feel loved and safe. And if he truly loves you, then he should honor that. Now, step 9 is fake it until you make it. So the truth is, even if you are jealous, you don't want to show that, because you're essentially telling your partner, telling the world that you don't value yourself. So even if it's through gritted teeth at first, fake it until you make it. Soon you will calm down and realize that you're not in fact jealous. And finally, the next step is to step into love. So embracing radical self-love on this journey of freeing yourself of jealousy is a key part of the process. And if you recognize how perfectly lovable you are, then there is no need to feel jealousy, because you can now recognize how perfect you are for yourself. No one can be a better version of you than you. So you need to embrace the knowing that no one can compare to you. Another element of this, and perhaps harder to embody, is connecting to love for those you might feel jealous of. Now, this is easier said than done, and I don't suggest jumping to this stage until you've first developed a solid foundation of self-love. But in truth, when you can connect to the oneness that we all are, you'll be connecting to that person with love, and therefore can appreciate this beautiful part of them that you admire. And in doing so, you remove the disillusionment of our separateness and instead recognize that another woman's beauty or something else is a reflection of your own. And I truly believe that all that we see in others, whether good or bad, is a mirror of ourselves. So we can only recognize the beauty and radiance of another woman when we have that beauty and radiance within us. We can't recognize what we are not. If you'd like to explore this topic of healing more, I recommend listening to my guided meditation on freeing yourself from jealousy, and also my guided meditation on healing an abandonment wound. Both are on my YouTube. Make sure you listen to these recordings as well in a safe space where you'll be able to process any emotions or internal wounds that might come up. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you'd like to delve into this topic more, I offer one-on-one coaching, so you can contact me through my social media channels, or if you'd like to have a free consultation to discuss what packages might work for you, then you can also contact me on my email address, which is monica@wadwa.com. Otherwise, I have lots of free content on my social media channels and this YouTube every week, so subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of my weekly videos. Mwah.